Hello, dear friends. It is said that journalists are merchants of chaos, but in this case, the word chaos is very real, and it is not necessary to abuse sensationalism. In the end, those who said that the storm wars starting this month will be right. I have had to postpone all the work I had done previously due to the importance of the news that are coming out. The information is very scattered, so I am trying to condense and order it as best as I can. Tragedy and inner struggles are designed to train our mental and spiritual energy. Keep your eyes on God, for He is the only safe haven. Opinion piece. From Black Friday to Red Friday. Massive sell-off of risky assets. Turkish lira suffers a total collapse. Stock indices plummet. Could this be the triggering event? Inflation shakes the Mexican peso. Commodities also plunge. New York stock market plummets sharply. Grain price alert in China. Asian markets also plunge. Asia faces a natural gas crisis. Oil plunges more than $10. Nasty Black Friday sell-off. It all happened on Thanksgiving Day. Market implosion could be the event. Gold plunges $100 in 1 week. Dow Jones suffers its weak sell-off since 1931. Nervous weekends with dramatic swings. European stocks suffer worst day in 17 months. The whole thing is like a puzzle of 20,000 pieces. Brazil's favelas unite to create a stock exchange. Storm knocks out power to 80,000 British homes. Huelva would be the Atlantis and the birth of Greek cultures. Excuse me. Let's start. Fellow Americans, quote, "The storm is upon us," said JFK Jr. last Thursday on his 61st birthday. The next day, this announcement was fulfilled with a Black Friday that was tinged red with global plunge in stock markets and cryptocurrencies. All financial charts are going down, as some prophets had announced, which could be a sign of the imminence of the famous global financial reset, but no one knows anything for sure. Black Friday is the day that kicks off the holiday shopping season, with significant sales at many retail stores and department stores. It takes place 1 day after Thanksgiving Day, which is celebrated on the 4th Thursday of November. This custom has spread internationally. As a complement to this consumerist holiday, there is also a Cyber Monday, which is a day dedicated to online shopping. In Spain, large online retailers such as Amazon, PC Components, El Corte Inglés, or MediaMarkt ran discount campaigns during that week. Market plunge. The stock market plummeted on Friday, November 26, 2021. Although that global market had been artificially held back for years, the crash officially began on Friday. Stocks fell on Friday as markets reopened after the Thanksgiving holiday and oil prices hit 2 months lows on a search for safe haven assets. New York Stock Exchange falls. Stocks closed lower on Friday and had hit sectors that had benefited from a reopening fell sharply. Dow Jones suffers worst Black Friday sell-off since 1931. The Dow Jones Industrial Index settled down 905 points, 2.53%, in its worst post-Thanksgiving performance since 1931. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite also posted their worst performances. Black Friday for retail stocks. Shares of store operators fell Friday on problems stemming from low store visits and low holiday season inventories. European stock markets plummet. Stocks suffered their worst day in 17 months. European stocks plunged amid widespread selling on Friday as reports stoked fears and another blow of the global economy and drove investors out of riskier assets. For the time being, it appears that individual economies are going to opt for surgical-like measures, trying to avoid global confinement of the population because of the high economic and political cost it would entail. News of the reset. Last Sunday, November 21, the central pivot of the global financial reset, the Iraqi dinar, was internationalized. On Monday, the dinar was officially listed on world markets, and on Tuesday, the rest of the world's currencies were exchanged in the first basket at their new values in Zurich and Asia. The changeover of countries around the world would occur with the takeover of the media through the newly installed Starlink satellite system. After that, the forces would be able to broadcast real news to the world population and oversee new and transparent elections, the trigger of which was said to depend on a world event suspected to be a collapse of world markets. Max Sida believes that implosion of the markets could be providing the triggering event that are waiting for. The conjectures that the evergreens stopped paying and would be a sign of a major collapse next week. The quantum financial system, QFS, has been running for over a year in secondary banking. We know what is coming and it is impossible to predict the day, but it is event-driven. Markets are crashing. It is the narrative that it's necessary for currency reset. When there is no news, it means there is activity behind the scenes. Missile crisis. According to Juan Osabin, he thinks we are still going to have what amounts to a Cuban Missile Crisis type event, an event that would be something related to Taiwan. China is doing daily threatening maneuvers where they fly their fighter jets at full speed into Taiwan, then divert at the last second and sometimes penetrate Taiwanese airspace, with the implication that one of these times would not be a drill. Asia. Asian markets also plunge. Asian stock markets plunged on Friday as traders eyed controls that threatened to disrupt trading and travel. China's Evergrande Saucer Stadium taken over by government. November 24 was the default date for Chinese real estate giant Evergrande that could cause massive global financial chaos. Evergrande was taken out of the Chinese market because it was bringing down the rest of the market. Asia faces long-term natural gas crisis. Asian buyers of natural gas have had to pay record prices for cargoes in recent weeks as the global energy crisis sent prices soaring amid tight supply. Grain price alert. China is under pressure to stabilize grain prices and should offer more support to counter volatility in the markets. Gold rises in Asia. Gold rose Friday morning in Asia, poised for its worst week in 5 months, on growing bets that the Fed would accelerate asset stripping and raise interest rates faster than expected to curb rising inflation. Gold plunged nearly $100 in a week and may sink further. Gold has been following a contrarian script for the past few months, including last week when it fell nearly $100 an ounce. Turkish currency enters total collapse. Apple temporarily halted online sales on some of its devices at official stores in Turkey, after the country's currency, the Turkish lira, fell 15% on Tuesday against the dollar. Cryptocurrencies fall. Bitcoin fell more than 9% on Friday, dragging smaller tokens lower after investors abandoned risky assets for the perceived safety on bonds, the yen and the dollar. Massive sell-off in risky assets. Bitcoin fell 20% from the all-time high, and it hit earlier this month as concerts prompted traders to dump risky assets around the world. The world's largest cryptocurrency fell as much as 9% to $53.552 on Friday, $53.5 in brief. Ether, the second largest digital currency, fell more than 12%, while Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index declined as much as 7.7%. Russians are going cryptocurrency crazy. The total annual volume of cryptocurrency transactions by Russian citizens amounts to $5 billion. Commodities. Oil plummets. Oil prices suffered one of the biggest one-day drops, falling more than 10% on Black Friday, amid fears of lower global demand during the winter. Prices plunged 10.5%, while Boeing also plunges due to a travel ban from 8 African countries. Commodity plunge. Commodities from copper to crude oil to cotton plummeted as concerns about the outlook for global demand spiraled in financial markets. Americas. Inflation jolts Mexican peso. Analysts are pulling back from bullish bets on the Mexican peso after the double whammy over inflation and the president's surprise last-minute nomination change for central bank chief. Brazil's favelas unite to create stock exchange. Brazil's 10 largest favelas have united to create a stock exchange with the goal of ending decades of economic marginalization, making local businesses flourish, and opening the door to investors from around the world. Spain. Spanish police officers protest legalizing police filming. Thousands of police officers have turned out in central Madrid in response to government plans to legalize the filming of officers on duty, a move that is part of the overhaul of a controversial gag law. The Spanish government will be able to reduce its high rate of repeaters by allowing students to pass a course with failed subjects. Promotion from 1 year to the next depends on the decision of the teachers, and not only on the subjects passed. It will be possible to obtain the baccalaureate degree with a failing grade. According to Sergio Hernández Ranera, teachers point out that such responsibility creates legal insecurity for them. Huelva would be the Atlantis and the birth of Greek culture. A researcher from Huelva proposes a revision of history that moves the axis of gravity from the eastern to the western Mediterranean. Huelva would be the capital of the civilization of Tartessos, of Atlantis, and it is also, in reality, the ancient Gadir of the Phoenicians. His work denounces the manipulation of history by religious interests. Supply crisis. Supply chain problems wreak havoc on the holiday shopping season. The vacations are just around the corner and the supply chain situation is not looking good, which could force consumers to change their holiday shopping habits, along with inflation and the economy struggling to recover from the downturn. There has been a ransomware cyberattack targeting the marine services giant, exacerbating container supply problems. Storm knocks out power to more than 80,000 British homes. 2 people were killed and more than 80,000 left without power when Storm Arwen hit northern Britain late on Friday, bringing blizzards, heavy rain and winds of up to 100 miles per hour. Storm Arwen has slammed into parts of the UK with such force that the British government has issued its highest alert level, reserved only for potential threats to life. The worst affected areas stretched from Scotland to the northeast of England, with waves up to 9 to 10 meters high. Shortages of food, goods, fuel and power. Edison cuts power to Southern California residents for the second day in a row due to high winds in order to prevent wildfires. Indian industrial giant joins battle to end global chip famine. India's Tata Group is reportedly negotiating an opportunity with 3 of the country's states to build a semiconductor assembly and test unit. The move comes amid the current chip shortage that has hit global producers hard. Energy majors face a green nightmare. The biggest international oil and gas firms wrote down $150 billion worth of assets last year as prices plummeted. And favelas? This article, United Nations favelas. This article indicates that the United Nations may have dissolved on November 22nd. Use your own discernment as always. The failure of the United Nations is highlighted by the hundreds of billions of dollars that have been donated for humanitarian projects. Approximately 1.7% of this project money went to the actual owner of the project. In addition, the world has been in a perpetual state of conflict, poverty and division since the United Nations was established. For this reason, all orders and directives issued by the United Nations would have been revoked on November 22, 2021. The consortium of member states for world peace and restoration would have been officially ratified in the Hall of Records with immediate effect as the substitute body to assume the authority formerly held by the United Nations Charter. Tips. Ascension Signs. Love, peace, tranquility, security, leadership, unity, order, justice, creativity, organization, foresight, and dreaming. Don't Look Away by Thomas Anderson. Create awareness for the voiceless. Never look away from pain, even if it hurts. Never minimize your child's pain or discomfort. That's why we fight with our lives. It's why so many people sacrificed before, knowing they would never see the plan come to fruition. We will never forget, and we will tell the truth about heroes of the highest commitment to humankind. I'm sure they are all now in a beautiful place, a hero's paradise. Without Understanding by Stefan. Many of those who have awakened, no matter if they have awakened more or only recently, we are without understanding. We do not understand why our environment doesn't want to see the dangers. We do not understand why history can repeat itself, even though we all have a lot of education, a lot of experience. Let's let chaos happen on the outside and then say goodbye to it. We don't need all that anymore in the new world. Personal battles. Stargate newsletter by Sierra. The fighting seems to be increasing dramatically, and many of us seem to be going through intense personal battles. This would suggest that major breakthroughs are coming soon. The enemy always seems to push harder when we are closer to the goal. Do not be discouraged. Stay focused on God, and we will make it together. We are not living in the worst possible timeline. It would have been all over for Earth's population if the coalition had not intervened decades ago and worked tirelessly on their plan to save humankind. The dark side's agenda was to reduce the population to 90% and enslave the survivors. I think we can all agree that some of the current discomfort pales in comparison to the potential outcome had they succeeded. I also agree that many people are going through harrowing personal battles. Fortunately, I am sparing myself in this regard, but many friends are having a torrid time with sleepy family and friends. The vitriol that some of those under attack are unleashing on their family and friends is truly shocking. Light warriors wonder if the personalities of some people who have recently turned nasty are changing. Impact. It is time to get real about our illusory world by Starship Earth. The candid people who stomp around and become abusive because things are not going the way they would like need to sit down and calm down. These operations will take place when the best warriors decide it is necessary, and our Creator will do the rest in perfect divine timing. In search of answers. Since the White Hats are in a battle between good and evil and have chosen to be on God's side, when does all the misinformation stop? God is truth and life. How long do we feel we need to use the devil's tactics in our attempt to defeat him? Are we not using darkness in an attempt to defeat darkness? When will we expose the darkness to the light of God? The big breakthrough. The breakthrough by liberty. Third parties have many more problems than we do, and have failure written on their foreheads. Their plan no longer works, and now they have to hurry up and do ugly things, with protests and courts all over the world. Out of fear, they panic and attack people. Their bosses promised to save them when they were in trouble, but they have already been pushed aside by the forces of light. Their masters betrayed their slaves. Now they have been left without any support in the middle of the fire. The controllers are desperately trying to see through to completion the plan that has been years in the making. They made many mistakes in making the plan, and now they don't know what to do. They are trying to get out. They make wrong decisions, and they are already so entangled in their own maze that they themselves cannot get out of it. They do not know what imagination, courage, moral help, solidarity, love, fantasy, creativity, compassion, kindness, self-esteem, freedom, flexibility of thought, and many other human talents are. We still limit ourselves to a physical body and cannot understand in any way that our main power is beyond the physical body, and our power can work miracles. For example, through the power of spirit, we can move humankind to other timelines, transform and cleanse the dark energies of the earth, change and influence planetary processes, stop hurricanes, create the future, and many other interesting things. For thousands of years, we have been taught to live selfishly and have constantly tried to separate ourselves. We almost completely lost our self-esteem, the need to help other people and to be together in difficult times. If humankind had not lost courage, dignity, and solidarity, the bad guys would never have gotten this far. Everything goes right. It is all going well by Holly and Wolverine. The vacations are over, and we are still waiting. It is with these deadlines coming and going, and with high expectations, that we must not fall into despair or lose hope. Rather, you must be more positive and keep your frequency high and not give up. Never lose faith that this will happen. We are closer than we have ever been. The coalition has said that when we keep our frequency high enough and keep it there, that is the secret to making this happen. For everyone to see this done, feel it and stay positive. Everything is going very well, according to the forecast of the plan, and it could be at any time. There could be an interim government during the blackout with martial law. There would be a communications blackout to take over. Possibly, the only thing that would work would be Telegram and Signal, but only for the awakened, while other people would just have the rotating message reporting the truth on TV and different media. Try to have backups of all the data you have in the cloud and platforms that could go offline or disappear. Although this may seem like a terrible thing to do, it is not, because you have to to restart the system, so that all of our more dormant brethren can make the switch and find out the truth. Raise the frequency as much as you can. Feel every present moment you live. Savor every moment regardless of the past or the future. Ask forgiveness from the universe for the harm you have done to others or the planet. Feel free of guilt and with love. Be loving and positive. Play music that makes your hair stand on end from the feelings. Love life and love all people. Love this precious planet Earth we live on and continue to live. The End of Time. Coming Events by Janine W. The dark side is being brought down at this time worldwide under divine instructions. It is being done under the law and constitutionally. All the weight and bad things that are happening have been allowed to happen for 3 reasons. First one, to eliminate as many operatives as possible down to their roots. This is done by letting them expose themselves and gathering evidence while doing so. Second one, to give human beings time to wake up, to understand what has been done behind their backs, with their money and in their name. Third one, all this would be a chaotic mess, but it is necessary. It will take time for the world to recover, but it will be magnificent as it unfolds. There will be some events coming in no particular order. The exact timelines are unknown, but many would happen in the next few months. Explanations will come in the 8 hours videos. Prophecies are being fulfilled in unexpected ways. We will see miracles. You can plug your ears, close your eyes, and go watch some sitcoms on TV and pretend nothing exists, and it will go away if you ignore it. Good luck with that. Understand that there is a lot of disinformation coming from both white hats and black hats. Whites spread disinformation so as not to publicize their plans, leave them in confusion, and document the proof. The whole thing is like a 20,000 piece puzzle, and we don't have a picture to work with. You get pieces all over the place, but you don't know where they fit or even if they are actually from a different puzzle. Some of what has been said about Gisera is not accurate. That document was signed a long time ago and has been modified a bit. For example, it was supposed to close all mortgages due to fraud. Now we hear that they can only retain all the interest you paid on those mortgages. We are in the end times. That is proven throughout the Bible and backed up by our current and past prophets. It is talked about in great detail in many ancient prophecies, histories, archaeological finds, etc. They all describe the same things on their own words. You need to be prepared physically, mentally, and spiritually for what is coming. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.